Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be doing full card predictions for UFC 313 this time, okay? So I'm really excited. This is a seemingly very good card on paper, so let's begin with the first fight, Djorden Santos versus Ozzy Diaz. It seems to me that Djorden Santos is a bit more skilled and a bit more in shape, to be honest. I also feel like Ozzy might be an easy target, because I've noticed he does this one thing that a lot of lower level fighters do, and that's bouncing around too much, trying to keep himself, mobile so that he doesn't get hit or taken down. But you can see that it takes up a significant portion of his brain power, and obviously that leaves less space for everything else. The other problem that I have with Diaz is that he makes his feints look super obvious, and you can tell when he's trying to set something up, which obviously negates the goal. And Santos knows how to pressure. He definitely looks like the more professional one out of the two. Yeah, I'm picking Santos. I think it's a good pick. I'm seeing this go to a decision. So yeah, let's move on to the second early prelim. Mairon Santos versus Francis Marshall. Guys, I like how Santos looks. He's like a bit of a sniper, He has clean boxing. He also doesn't get hit too much, which is nice. And Marshall's boxing is okay too. He's fairly well-rounded from what I've seen. He can grapple, he can box, cool. But he took a lot of damage in his fight with Denis Buzukja. And I only wrote down his last name, Buzukja. I think his first name was Denis. Anyways, that dude. Yeah, he took so much damage when they fought, honestly. Pretty sure that fight went to a split decision. But the other thing is, I've seen Santos shake off his opponents in the clinch. I don't think that Marshall is going to be much of a grappling threat. I just don't think Santos is going to be that phased. He's better on the feet. He has good reaction time. And also, Francis Marshall leaves his head open more often than he should. More often than he realizes. So yeah, I'm gonna go with. Did I call him Marlon? I might have done that. Mairon. Oh god, I feel like one of those boomers right now that always mispronounces everyone's names. Anyways, Mairon Santos is the pick, guys. Solid. Okay, let's move on to Alex Morono and Carlos Leal. Guys, honestly, I don't see Alex Morono as a threat, to be honest. I don't. He's not terrible, but he just doesn't have that fighter aura anymore. Also, Carlos did pretty well in his fight with Rinat Fakhretdinov. Honestly, I couldn't even tell who was winning that fight the whole time. I think Rinat mostly got the win because he got more takedowns. He got all the takedowns, I think, actually. And, the judges obviously scored that. Also, another thing is, Leal was sauced up in that fight. He was so sauced. He had fucking pepperoni growing on his back, you know what I mean? It's big mosaic of them. So, yeah, I just, you got Alex Morono, who is, just kind of hanging in there. It seems Alex Morono is more interested in sparring at this point in his career, and I just think that, a jacked up Carlos Leal versus this version of Alex Morono we're gonna see, it's gonna be a rough night for Alex Morono, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm picking Carlos Leal. I think it's a solid pick. Alex Morono is pretty good at defending, so I could see this going to the decision. Yeah. Who knows? I won't choose how Carlos will win, but yeah, I think he's gonna win. I really don't see Alex Morono winning. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next one. Bruno Ferreira versus Armen Petrosyan. Okay, this is a tough one actually, but I think I'm leaning more towards Bruno, and yeah, I think he just here's my reasoning for this. He definitely has more KO power, and I feel like he could catch Armen with something early. Because here's the problem with Bruno Ferreira is we've seen him gas on the ground, but luckily for him, he's fighting Armen Petrosyan, who doesn't really take it to the ground. So that's a huge advantage for him, because that's always something you have to factor in whenever you're picking Bruno is will his opponent take him down? Because if his opponent will take him down, he will gas. Armen's coming off a KO loss. Didn't look too bad in that fight with Shada. He got caught with a double spinning back fist. Kind of hard to avoid that one. but wasn't too brutal of a knockout or anything. And Brunno just finished his fight with Abus Magomedov, who I actually think is better than Armen Petrosyan. He also has grappling. That's how he won that fight. There was nothing Ferreira could do. And, you know, of course, Abus looked just bigger, in better shape. Overall, just a little bit more sauced. Anyhow, I think that Armen's probably just going to box with him. They don't ever see him getting takedowns. In which case, yeah, I think Brunno has better chances early. I'm going to pick Brunno Ferreira by KO. I even remember he wobbled Abus Magomedov like a few times in their fight, which is impressive. So, yeah, picking Brunno Ferreira, guys. Let's move on to the next one. Joshua Van versus Rei Tsuruya. I'm excited for this fight. I think this is a dope matchup. I think it's a perfect matchup for each of them. We got Creative Asian versus Gangster Asian. Okay, so I was watching back the fight with Joshua Van and Cody Djorden, and Cody Djorden was struggling to take Joshua Van down. But honestly, I've noticed that Cody Djorden became very predictable in that fight, like constantly shooting for these double legs, not timing them well. Eventually he got super gassed too, which, you know, Joshua Van just took advantage of because he wasn't gassed at all. And also another thing is, it looked like in Joshua Van's case, the separation from Cody Djorden felt more of like a strength and speed thing rather than like a skill thing. Because, yeah, as I said, Cody Djorden, he's not as creative. Rei Tsuruya, on the other hand, is way more creative and way less rigid than Cody Djorden. So I'm thinking he will find way more success on the ground with Joshua Van. And even if he doesn't get a finish, he's just going to run up the clock, you know. And what is Joshua Van going to do? You know, what is he going to do? Yeah, I don't think we're going to have this situation in this fight where, you know, Rei Tsuruya is going to get, you know, she's going to try to shoot for takedowns, fail a bunch, and then gas, just like Cody Djorden, allowing Joshua Van to just box him to a decision. You know what I mean? I think Rei Tsuruya is good at finding these openings and taking advantage of them where most fighters would not think that there were options available, you know? So, yeah, I feel pretty good about the Rei Tsuruya pick, honestly. Like, Joshua Van is solid on the feet, but again, this is the one case where I think it will be hard to get Rei Tsuruya off of you. And yeah. Okay, next up we got Curtis Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev. Guys, I'm not picking the guy that just got off the Contender Series to win over the guy that just had a fight with Tom Aspinall. Like, what? Even like, who made this fight? Yeah, and the guy who 50% of people were picking to win against Tom Aspinall, like, what? Curtis Blaydes looks way better on the feet. You can't tell me otherwise. I was just watching back of both of their fights. In Kuniev's last fight on the Contender Series, he was literally fighting some guy with negative fight IQ who kept shooting for these takedowns, you know, pushing him against the fence, which eventually got him KO'd. Like, he didn't separate from Kuniev in time, and Kuniev just, I think, got him with an uppercut or something. Like, really, really, really low IQ move right there. And yeah, basically his opponent lost because he just decided to grapple without a plan. Like, what was that dude thinking? I don't know. But Curtis Blaydes is not going to do that. You know, he's not just going to start pushing Rizvan Kuniev to the fence hoping that something is going to happen, you know. I think this fight's going to remain on the feet, and I could even see a KO finish for Curtis Blaydes because I don't know why they're putting a contender bro with a guy that just competed for the interim belt. Like, what is going on? Anyways, next up we have Bobby Bobbert Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. Firstly, let me just start off by saying this. Bobby Green fucked up the moment he decided to change his name to King Green. You know, it's giving King Joffrey vibes, if you know what I mean. Not a winner's move, as I have said before. Instead of facing his ego, Bobby Green decided he would rather feed it, you know, empty titles in vain. So, first thing that happened after his name change was him foolishly diving into a takedown attempt against Paddy Pimblett. Like, first of all, bro, what are you doing? You're a kickboxer. Why are you trying to take Paddy? Of course, instantly got submitted. Insta-submitted. You know, that was like the most inflated ego move I have ever seen. Ever. Like, what? in the UFC, you know? You'd think that with age, Bobby Green would have gotten more of a grip on reality, but it seems that he's just fallen deeper into his own delusions. And honestly, his cocky dance isn't selling anyone anymore. I'm not buying his, you know, style of fighting. It was cool at once when it like all made sense, and now it's all falling apart at the seams. Mauricio Ruffy, on the other hand, is part of the fighting nerds. He times his shots well, gets creative when he needs to, and he was fucking up James on top on the feet, guys, when they were fighting. I feel like if Bobby Green was on the other end of that, he would have definitely gone down, you know? So yeah, I'm picking Mauricio Ruffy over wilting Bobby Green, who's like getting old now. What is he, like 37, 38? Yeah, I don't this is like one of the worst fight IQs I've ever seen. I think fight IQ goes down with when the ego increases, and Bobby Green is just the perfect example of that. Anyhow, guys, let's move on to the next fight. I'm also excited for this one. It's a women's fight. Amanda Lemos versus Iasmin Lucindo. The thing is, I don't think Iasmin Lucindo is ready for this fight, okay? She's 23, and Amanda Lemos is a savage on the feet, guys. Like, the only place she got compromised was on the ground with Virna Jandiroba, but even in her fight with Mackenzie Dern, she was able to shake her off, you know what I mean? And Mackenzie Dern is like a big, heavy girl who has good BJJ, so do I feel like Iasmin Lucindo is going to be much of a threat to her on the ground? No, because I don't think her grappling is on the same level as Virna Jandiroba, okay? Do I think that Iasmin Lucindo is going to be much of a threat on the feet? No, because Amanda Lemos, again, is a savage. She hits hard. Her technique is much more developed than Iasmin Lucindo's. She's too young, in my opinion. So yeah, the pick is Amanda Lemos. More KO power, more experience. Was able to shake off Mackenzie Dern with, like, you know, I think Mackenzie Dern had like nearly 3 minutes to work with her and couldn't accomplish anything. So yeah, I just think Iasmin Lucindo is a little bit outskilled here, which is okay. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next one. We have Jalin Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. So I'm picking Ignacio Bahamondes because of fight IQ, okay? He's like a super solid counter striker. His counters got him that win against Manuel Torres. Like, there was like one time Manuel Torres is getting fucked up, and then the second time where he got knocked out, like, he was going in for a combination, and Ignacio Bahamondes just countered him with the perfect shot and got the KO win. So I feel like Jalin Turner is totally just gonna try and go in with some crazy shit without considering you know, the future possibilities or what can come back at him. Like, you know what I mean? He's the type of dude that will just like assume that he got a walk-off KO. So, and yeah, out of like the past 4 fights that he had with Gamrot, Bobby Green, Moicano, the only one that he was able to catch was Bobby Green. You know what I mean? So we all know where Bobby Green's fight IQ is. Also, we just spoke about it. So I'm picking Ignacio Bahamondes. I think he's much more reliable. He seems solid. He seems more present. I like this. I like good consistency right here. This is good consistency right here. Okay, let's move on, guys. Let's move on to the co-main event. Wow, we're already here. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Interesting. Dan Hooker was supposed to fight here, but got an arm injury, so we got Rafael Fiziev now. And okay, so I watched back the first fight, guys, and honestly, I noticed Gaethje wasn't really doing anything that different from Rafael Fiziev. The only difference I saw was the intensity of the strikes from Gaethje were definitely doing more damage. Like, he was definitely hitting harder, and I think he was like also utilizing his leg kicks a little more. But overall, I would say the fight was close. You know what I mean? It wasn't that like, oh, Gaethje had so much more skill than Rafael Fiziev. And the thing is, guys, after Max Holloway knocked out Justin Gaethje at UFC 300, he just flopped face first onto the canvas. And he just lay there for a while, you know? Like, that was a bad KO. That was like, 10 seconds of the last round. Max Holloway's already a heavy hitter, and I think he hit Justin Gaethje with something even harder than he normally would because he was just going for it. Like, I rewatched that fight too, and I just saw the speed at which his fist hit Justin Gaethje's face. It was terrible, terrible. That's definitely a big concussion there, you know? Like we already know Max Holloway has KO power, but this was next level. That was last year. Justin Gaethje hasn't had a fight since then. I don't know how he's gonna be when he returns here. Like, I don't think that was really good for his brain. It's not like his fight IQ was the best anyways. And I think that this might really affect his reaction time. And, you know, Fiziev took a few years off since his leg injury. But honestly, it seems like he's okay. People have been saying he's been training and waiting for a fight. So even though this is last minute, I feel like he's going to be more prepared. I think he's going to be in better shape. And yeah, you know, if the last fight was close and this time the difference is that Justin Gaethje has a little bit of brain damage, I'm going to pick Rafael Fiziev. Maybe by a decision, honestly. So we'll see. Unless Justin Gaethje gets knocked out again, RIP. But yeah, I'm going with Fiziev. Decision. Okay, guys, let's move on to the last fight of the night. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. I am picking Alex Pereira, guys. Surprise, surprise! Of course, I'm picking Alex Pereira because listen, guys. All these other dudes, Yuri, Rakic, Khalil Roundtree Jr., yeah, they're good. You know, they're good. But the thing is, Alex Pereira is on another level. Like, there's all these fighters, and then Alex Pereira is just on a whole different level. And I feel like Magomed Ankalaev is also on the same level as these, like, other fighters. Like, he's probably a little bit better than them, but he's definitely not Pereira level, okay? Like, Ankalaev took Rakic to a decision, and he also took quite a bit of damage in that fight, especially in the legs. You guys already know Pereira's leg kicks are not fun to receive. So, and here's the thing. Pereira doesn't get hurt, guys. He doesn't get hurt. He's like such a good defensive fighter, and he's not a high volume dude because he doesn't have to be. Like he focuses all of his energy on looking for like the perfect shot, and also then, you know, not getting hit. He's not distracting himself with like feinting too much or doing anything like that, anything extra, you know? So while I think Ankalaev is going to take his typical approach to a fight, which is like do enough damage to wear his opponent down to eventually like weaken them and maybe get a finish, that's not going to fly with Pereira. Like, I don't think Ankalaev is going to hurt him all that much. I think Pereira is going to avoid most of the damage, and Pereira only needs like a few shots. He needs maybe like one or two, you know what I mean? Like, I seriously think that Pereira has tapped into a whole different kind of power, and I just don't think that Ankalaev is meeting him there. So, yeah. I think even if we don't see much from Pereira, like, in the first round or 2 or 3 even, eventually there's going to be a left hook that lands. Or something like that, you know, a freaking crazy head kick. There's going to be something, and when that happens, I feel like Ankalaev is just gonna go down. Like, come on, it's the same shit that happened to everybody. Like, everybody who's fought him has said, this guy possesses a different kind of power. Like, why would it change now? Why would Ankalaev be the one, you know? Okay, he's like a Russian, Dagestani mountain Muslim. That does, you know, give him more brownie points. I assume he's going to be maybe stronger and more durable, but still. Actually, has he been KO'd? Ankalaev. Our good friend Ankalaev. Ankalaev has never been KO'd. He's only been submitted. Will Alex Pereira be the first one to KO him? I would not be surprised, yo. I would not be surprised, actually, because with these dudes, sometimes that have never gotten KO'd in their professional careers, maybe he did somewhere along the way. It doesn't show here. No, he has not. But again, how durable? I don't know. How durable is his chin? We're gonna find out. My brain at the moment can't like accept any other option other than Pereira winning based on how like everything has gone over the last few years. And I really do think he's just gotten better. So yeah. Another thing is like, yeah, I don't think Ankalaev is gonna try to take him to the ground. That's not really his style. He's probably gonna try to keep it on the feet. Yeah. I'm picking Pereira, guys. Like, what the hell? It'll be amazing to me if Ankalaev wins. At this point, like, it'll be amazing to me. So, he took Rakic to a decision. Like, come on. He won against Johnny Walker. Okay. Split draw with Jan Blachowicz. He won against Anthony Smith. Okay. Okay. You know, sure. Yeah, of course. So, anyways. Meanwhile, Pereira's been KOing everybody. So, yeah. Again, just reinforcing this for those of you that still don't get it. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, like, how good you are. If you get hit with a fucking brick, you're going down. And Pereira's fists are basically 2 bricks. So, yeah. Anyhow, guys, that's all. I didn't have my Shama bowl with me today, but I think I will have it with me for my live stream that I will do. I have my little Shama mala. So there's that. We got a little bit of spirituality here. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. I think my picks this week are actually solid. Let me know what you think. Yeah. And see you guys on Friday for the ceremonial weigh-in live. And yeah, see you guys Friday and Saturday. And yeah, thanks again. Thanks again. Bye.